Aloha, you're watching F5 On Demand. We're here at the Santa Clara Convention Center for Velocity 2014. I'm Peter Silva, and I'm fortunate to have Robert Haynes with me. He's the Marketing Solutions Architect, right, Robert?
Mainly.
Mainly. So here at Velocity, we're kicking off this video. Velocity is all about web operations, performance, optimizing websites. And so I thought I'd get Robert here to maybe ask him a question. So, Robert, tell me the top 6 auto manufacturers around the world.
Okay, well, there's GM and...
Time's up. What? So that's about how much time visitors, users, people will wait for a website to load. And so Robert we're getting a little sneak peek. Robert's built our acceleration reference architecture. So if you're not aware, we have our reference architectures, and they're kind of the proof points, the customer scenarios for our synthesis vision. And synthesis is our vision for software-defined application services. It comprises of the high-speed fabric, our high-performance fabric, the big IPs, the intelligent services orchestration, so the management of that fabric, and then the simplified business models. And so I thought to kick off Velocity this week, after my fine video, of course, to get us some insight and a sneak peek on the acceleration RA. So tell me a little bit, what are companies facing when it comes to optimizing and making their applications perform in a manner that they want?
Okay, so we've all read these studies. Everyone knows that Google say that, or Amazon say that a millisecond of delay costs them a significant amount of money. We all know all the reports have been produced that tell us that people don't like slow applications. Well, that's not news to anybody, surely. Everyone likes fast applications. And then you realize that all those reports are there because actually fixing this can be quite tricky. If you're an organization with a website or a web application you're using internally that you know is slow, you know that it's causing problem for your colleagues overseas or your customers who are a long way away, what can you do about it? Yeah. It's not that easy to solve. Okay, you can go and use a CDN, which is great for delivering static content. But there's security issues there, there's privacy issues there, and they cost you, a fair amount of money, and you're not sure how much it's going to be month to month because it's a variable rate. Okay, you can go back and fix the code. Well, that's the best place to sort it, and that's what a lot of people here are all about, is writing really great application code. But you might not own that code, and it could take you months to go and debug and fix and optimize application code. Or you can go out and buy a specialist web application solution, a web application device that it optimizes your application, but again, you're adding more infrastructure into your environment, more things to learn. And then, it's not that easy to fix. So we have had for a long time at F5, a really great web application acceleration solution. Application Acceleration Manager is a software module you can run on your existing big IP, on your devices already in line for most of you. There's a load of people out there with our technology that they can enable this web application acceleration. And I thought, well, that's and we've made that really easy with the simplified licensing, the good, better, best licensing model. It's really easy to have access to that technology. But that's only half the battle. I thought, well, how do we make this really easy for people to get hold of, get some value out of this? And I actually looked. We have a great online reporting system, an online diagnosis system about people can upload their big IP configurations called iHealth. Helps you find anything wrong with your big IP, anything wrong with your software. You can upload the configuration to us. We'll analyze it and we'll tell you what the problem is. It also provides a really useful anonymous set of information about what our customers are doing. And I found that tons of people out there weren't even turning on the simplest things on their big IP to make their websites go faster.
So obviously, if you're running big IP, it sounds as if there are just a few things that you can flip a switch essentially, yep, and significantly increase the performance and optimize your applications.
That's absolutely it. There's really just 3 things you can turn on. You can choose a really great TCP profile. We optimize TCP with this full TCP proxy. Just by choosing a good optimized TCP stack at the front end can make a really surprisingly large difference. We did some great testing with a cell provider, a carrier, and we found that we were able to get a significant improvement just by changing one setting. just by changing the TCP profile.
Well, what is it really about TCP? Is it because it's a chatty protocol? Is that what happens there? And
it's because HTTP is a chatty protocol. Okay, HTTP is a chatty protocol, which also means that when you try and use things like WAN optimization solutions, which are great at shoving more data down a small pipe, they're not so great for web applications because of the chat inherent in HTTP. One of the other things you can do then is use this SPDY gateway. Okay, so SPDY is a protocol developed by Google. It's the foundation for the HTTP 2.0, which will be ratified in the fall, probably. And that dramatically reduces the chattiness of the HTTP protocol simply by multiplexing more connections down the same, more requests down the same connection. You know, if you wanted to go and implement that yourself at your back end, you'd have to go and reconfigure all your web servers. And that's a pain job to do. But you can turn on a SPDY gateway on the big IP, and we handle, just like we do with SSL, we become the SPDY proxy. Your clients, if they support SPDY, can use SPDY. Your servers can still serve over HTTP. And then the final thing we can do is turn on a simplified set of layer 7 functions. This is where we kind of hand select from the huge basket of tools and techniques we have on board a set of basic techniques that will work with pretty much every HTTP application. You won't have to do a ton of testing. It won't break your application. It's a very simple set of tools. It's some caching and some compression and some page optimization. Okay. Now, if you need the rest of the tools that we have, all of the image optimization we can do, things like browser cache manipulation, page reordering, white space removal, that's all still there. But actually, just turn on 3 simple things and you'll get a really big improvement for very little time and effort.
And you know, I often joke that we've just become an impatient society. We can't just take a moment and, you know, allow the content to get to me. But it's a true business issue, right? You know, with financial institutions, sometimes they rely on sub-second application response. There's social networks I often talk about where somebody updates something on the West Coast. They want to make sure that the East Coast users see that instantaneously. So there are real business challenges that are addressed, right?
Well, that's right. And also, you know, the great work that people like Facebook and LinkedIn and the really big web monsters do. They have completely conditioned us. You know, and Google have completely conditioned us to expect results instantly. So in our personal lives, you know, we expect our personal apps to work really, really fast, and then generally they do, and then we take that attitude to work with us. And when our internet doesn't load fast, or our HR system's almost impossible to use, or our ERP system's just horrible, you know, the bar's been set already.
Updating Exchange.
Yeah, no, the bar's completely been set by, you know, the fantastic work that the web monsters do, and now we expect everything to work like that, and that's a tough job for the average IT department to do.
Yeah, but then obviously within Big IP, there are just a few things you can do, 3 actually, that make it incredibly simple and can really get you within that 3-second time frame of tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, you can make a really big difference to the speed of your application with you know, a really small amount of time and a few simple techniques. And from there, you can go on, if you need more, that we have all the other features available. But you know, start with these 3 and see where you go.
That's pretty cool stuff. You know, I always knew, you know, because I've been here around a while, that there were, you know, a lot of little tweaks and settings you can do within the Big IP, but 3 simple switches that you can flip to then instantly speed up your applications. That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, and the point of the reference architecture is to tell you which one of those 3 to switch.
Perfect.
Because there are a lot there.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Robert. I really appreciate it. So the 3 things you can do to help speed up your application with the Big IP. So TCP optimization,
SPDY gateway, and some layer 7 tools.
There you have it. So thanks for watching. For Robert, I got Natasha behind the lens. I'm Peter, and we're with F5 Networks. Thanks for watching.